Members, we have a quorum. This is also the appointed time. So let's make a start. This is a special meeting of the panel on administration of justice and legal services. We have one item on the agenda, that is updates on cooperation with international legal and dispute resolution bodies and attracting the presence or carrying out of activities in Hong Kong, International Organization for Mediation. Let's invite the administration to come in. Members, you should have received this paper. That's CB bracket 451 2024 bracket 01. This is a paper from the administration.
First
of all, may I welcome Mr. Paul Lam, Secretary for Justice, and his team. May I also welcome representatives from the Hong Kong Bar Association and the Law Society of Hong Kong. Now, with this administration's paper in hand, I'd like to invite Mr. Paul Lam to walk us through the paper. Thank you. Let me briefly give members an update. I thank members for this special meeting to discuss this proposal from the Department of Justice, and that is the plan of converting the old Wan Chai Police Station into the headquarters of the International Organization for Mediation. We have a very tight time frame to set up the relevant office in Hong Kong. Under the National 14th Five-Year Plan and the Greater Bay Area Development Plan, the CPG has strategically positioned Hong Kong as an international legal and dispute resolution services center in the APEC region. With the staunch support of the Central People's Government, the preparatory office was established in Hong Kong in early 2023 to take forward the negotiation surrounding the International Convention for the establishment of the International Organization for Mediation, as well as other matters. According to the requirements, by mid-2025, the site should be handed over to the IOMED preparatory office. So we'd like to strive for members' support to apply for funding so that we can start the conversion works as quickly as possible. It is very important to set up this office so as to give support to the country's development in developing international legal services to increase our competitiveness. This is also a response to what President Xi said in the 20th National Congress report, that is to build a shared future for mankind. Now, the IOMED will be the first international intergovernmental organization for resolving disputes. If this is hosted in Hong Kong, this will also be the first time for the headquarters of an international intergovernmental organization to be hosted in Hong Kong. This will help enhance our profile and enhance our competitiveness and bolster our status as an international legal and dispute resolution services center in the APEC region, so as to take forward other national strategies such as the Belt and Road Initiative and the Greater Bay Area Development. In light of the operational requirements, we have selected this site, and that is the old Wan Chai Police Station established in 1932, which is now a Grade 2 historic building. We have the Central People's Government's full support. As we all know, for the old Wan Chai Police Station, it is situated in a very well-connected area. The old Wan Chai Police Station is a Grade 2 historic building. It is also an iconic building situated in a premier location in the urban district. As we understand, the expression of interest submitted is the only submission received. As we have a tight time frame, we've conducted a heritage impact assessment in relation to the Old Wan Chai Police Station. And at the meeting held on the 14th of December last year, the Antiquities Advisory Board was consulted. We have their support, and in fact, the Wan Chai District Council was consulted on the 5th of January this year, and members gave their unanimous support for the proposal. We believe the Old Wan Chai Police Station to be the ideal location for the IMF headquarters in Hong Kong. We are the only common law jurisdiction in the area, and we have a very mature system. We also have the legal talents. Our system is in line with, is closely aligned with the international community in terms of civil and commercial laws. And along with the central authorities, we keenly look forward to having the establishment of the IOMET in Hong Kong so as to take forward the development of legal and dispute resolution services in Hong Kong. We hope members will understand that this is an urgent matter. I hope we have the members' support so that we can submit this proposal to the Public Works Subcommittee for scrutiny in the first quarter and for the Finance Committee to approve our funding application so that we can commence works immediately after winning the bid for IOMET, so that by the middle of 2025, the site can be handed over smoothly to the International Organization for Mediation. Right, thank you. I now invite Mr. Victor Dawes, Chairman of the Hong Kong Bar Association, to speak. Please wrap up in 5 minutes. Yes, very briefly. This is a major initiative for the legal profession. It will be a good opportunity for our profession to make our contribution. It is not an easy task to identify the most suitable location. Now, this is not only an ideal location for the government, but for the legal profession as well. Many lawyers, in fact, took up cases and spent quite some time in this former police station before. So we give our support, and that's all from me. Thank you. Next, President of the Law Society of Hong Kong, Mr. C.M. Chen. Thank you, Chairman. The Law Society of Hong Kong supports the setting up of the International Organization for Mediation Council in Hong Kong. This is very important. Well, just yesterday, at the legal year opening, over 100 legal professional bodies from 50 jurisdictions and also 20 representatives from different jurisdictions and legal professional bodies attended the legal year opening. It was a great success. The number of attendances was also record high. We held a series of activities to receive these representatives. Now, in the past few days, they expressed strong interest in our legal services, including mediation services. So I think setting up the headquarters of the IOMET in Hong Kong will be very conducive to taking forward our development of the services. Now, without further ado, I will now give the floor to Chairlady of the Mediation Committee of the Law Society of Hong Kong, Mrs. Cecilia Wong, to say a few words. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman, Secretary, members. We have a good foundation for taking forward mediation services in Hong Kong. We have also made a lot of achievements Cap 620 and Mediation Ordinance and Cap 631, the Apologies Ordinance came into effect respectively in 2013 and 2017. The Mediation Ordinance effectively provides a way to resolve disputes with client privileges put in place. As for the Apologies Ordinance, it is put in place to encourage the parties involved in the dispute to make apologies. This brings positivity to and harmony in the community. Now, in 2014, on the 1st of January, the Practice Directions 31 came into effect. It is applicable to all civil cases. Courts would encourage parties involved in civil disputes to use mediation services to resolve disputes. As for qualifications and accreditation matters, with the staunch support of the government, in August 2012, an accreditation body was set up for the mediation sector to provide a standardized accreditation approach to mediators as well as drawing up the code of conduct for them. So the services are accredited. We also draw up a voluntary chapter for compliance. Mediators in Hong Kong follow this code. As far as the professional qualifications are concerned, mediators in Hong Kong enjoy a competitive edge. For example, some mediators are professionals in their own fields. They are equipped with vast experience and expertise. For mediators registered with the Law Society of Hong Kong, they are registered legal practitioners. They have the skills and experience and the legal knowledge, together with the knowledge in legal proceedings. They are among the best. We also have professionals with qualifications in other law jurisdictions, such that we can provide efficient and effective services to clients in resolving cross-boundary disputes. The judiciary has also been giving a lot of support in the development of mediation services in recent years. For example, in a district court, MCSCs are provided. That means meetings will be held in the presence of mediators before trial, and MFDR is also available for users of family court, and there is also MCDR for proceedings involving the interests of children. This demonstrates that we have a solid legal basis for the development of dispute resolution services in Hong Kong. We are well placed in resolving cross-boundary and international disputes. And as such, we support the establishment of IOMED headquarters in Hong Kong so as to attract the presence of mediation activities in Hong Kong. The floor is now open. 5 members would like to ask questions. Let me read out their names: Mr. Holden Chow, Ms. Carmen Ken, Professor Priscilla Leung, Ms. Eunice Yong, and Mr. Dennis Leung. Mr. Holden Chow will kick us off. 5 minutes, questions and answers included. Thank you, Chairman. Sorry, before you begin, first of all, if you have direct or indirect pecuniary interest in relation to the item being discussed, please disclose the nature of the interest before you speak in accordance with Rule 83A of the Rules of Procedure. Please also note the voting requirement under Rule 84 of the ROP where direct pecuniary interests are involved.
Please continue. Thank you. This is about putting the IOM in Hong Kong. I support this proposal. We have the central government support for becoming a mediation center. Just then, the Law Society and the Bar Association have said we do have an edge in mediation, so we support the scheme. I want to find out more about something though. We have a tight schedule. We have to deliver the facility in 2025, but we are in 2024 already. We have just another year to go. The site is the old Wan Chai police station. It's a Grade 2 historic building. It's a piece of heritage to be repurposed as the headquarters of the IOM. So will the fact that this is a piece of heritage help promote the place? Has the government also considered other sites as options? The paper says there will be mitigation measures for the heritage. But will the fact that this is heritage complicate the works? Can the government tell us its thoughts? Has thought been given to other sites, other options that are not heritage, so we don't have to worry about mitigation measures? I believe the government has struck a balance. Can the government tell us more about this thought process? And the price tag. We are having a discussion at the panel level. Will we get a price tag when the proposal reaches the Public Works Subcommittee? I want to find out more. So those are my two questions. Thank you. Secretary. First, I will discuss the rationale. We are on a time crunch. We need to deliver the place by the end of 2025. That place needs to be up and running by the end of 2025, so we cannot build a place from scratch. So we have to find a structure that's already there, a place that the government can readily vacate. That limits our options. We put in our expression of interest. The preparatory office told us they want readily available buildings as an option. So we have searched high and low. We have looked everywhere. Very few places fit the bill. We have considered the options. This is basically the only place that fits the bill. This is a Grade 2 historic building, a place of historical significance. We need to preserve this piece of heritage. So in our preliminary plans, we have arrangements in mind. We will preserve special features of the building. That's why we consulted the Antiquities Advisory Board. We discussed plans to minimize the impact on features. We briefed the AAB on this. The AAB members were happy with our proposal, so they endorsed our plan. So the member can rest assured that we will do our best to preserve the historic features of the building. Now the price tag. Mr. Chow made a good point. It's premature to discuss the price tag at this point. Once we get this panel's support, we will submit the proposal to the PWSC, and then we will set out the cost in greater detail at that point. Ms. Carmen Khan. Thank you, Chairman. I thank the Central People's Government for its staunch support for setting the preparatory office of the IOM in Hong Kong. I was at the launch ceremony. The Department of Justice has been lobbying the CPG for support. We have the preparatory office So now the question is the headquarters. We need to wait for the third round of negotiations before a decision is made. I look forward to a favorable outcome. So the outcome is still subject to the agreement of the negotiating parties, and only then we can have the headquarters in Hong Kong. I support the scheme. I hope we can succeed in getting the headquarters in Hong Kong. As paragraph 7 says, the IOM will be the first headquarters of an international intergovernmental organization in Hong Kong. And it will be on a par with places like the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague and the International Court of Justice, both being international bodies. If we can get headquarters here, that will help foster Hong Kong's status as a legal and dispute resolution service center. So I support the scheme. Now, on the site in Wan Chai, I hope this can work out. As the Bar Association said, this site, the district of Wan Chai, means a lot to the legal profession. Now, since we have people from the Architectural Services Department here, can the ASD tell us more about this principle of minimal interference and reversibility? And can we have three-dimensional images showing us the concept of the works? So I would like to hear from the ASD. Thank you. Secretary. We are pleased to have the Director of Architectural Services, Mr. Michael Lee, here, who will take the question from Ms. Khan. We went to the AAB about this plan. Our plan is to preserve some features, character-defining elements of the police station. There's a facade on Gloucester Road near the top of the structure. We will keep that feature. On the rooftop, there are 7 chimneys. We will keep those too. There are cells in the station. It's underground. And also there are balustrades. We will keep those so that future visitors get to see those features. There is also the armory. It's also on the ground floor. We will keep those. Now, what do we mean by reversibility? We will apply paint. We will have special contractors. They will apply special paint. This means any attempt to peel off the paint will keep the existing finishes and structure intact. Now, for the indoor fittings and fixtures, and there are archways in the building, we will show those features. There are 2 flights of staircases that are narrow. These are also special features. There are also the verandas facing Gloucester Road. We will keep those features. At the back near Jeff Road, there are balconies. We will show the original features of this police station, so that we can show people as the station looked like back in 1932. That's what we want to achieve in the works. Chairman, one comment. Ms. Khan's comment wondered if we could show her 3-dimensional drawings in the future. Now, this matter touches on security and diplomatic affairs. We have to consult the preparatory office of the IOM on what we can disclose. But I note a point from Ms. Khan, but let's also be mindful that for some details, we have to consult the preparatory office before we can make a decision. Thank you. Professor Priscilla Leung. It's a gift from the Central People's Government to have the IOM's headquarters in Hong Kong. This step would also means there's recognition for Hong Kong's common law system. The headquarters will also be a token of recognition, or rather gesture towards world peace. If we can have this headquarters and can become this capital of peace. Now, I was in Korea, an international seminar on mediation back in 2019. Tension was building up in Asia back then. Some representatives at the event said they would like to see mediation applied not just within countries, but also in disputes between countries.
Not only happen within a nation, but amongst nations. 當時大家都靜。
We felt silent for a few seconds. That was spot on. Just then, the Law Society gave us a detailed account. We watch a movie, we think that any dispute will go to the court. But with mediation, we can avoid costly and hostile exchanges at the court. The same goes for the international community. Mediation applied to international disputes will be where Hong Kong can play a special role. Now, the IOM falls within the prerogatives of the central government. This is the kind of matter involving sovereign states. We need the consent of other member states. Hong Kong is lobbying the Central People's Government for its support. As a logical member, I'm pleased to see we have come to where we are today. At the United Nations, in the Charter of the UN, the document stresses the use of mediation, engagement as a way to solve problems, but there are wars raging on. It's hard to get parties to negotiate. We have our country's support. Our country is growing strong, not just for its own sake. Setting up the IOM is for the good of other countries as well. It's a monumental undertaking. It's an honor, the pride of Hong Kong, to be able to play a role in the process. Now, I do have a question for the Secretary about the IOM. I talked about disputes between sovereign states. Wars may ensue after dispute. Accidents can also happen when one nation clashes with another. There are disputes over civil and commercial matters. Mediation can come in. But at this IOM, can we still have mediation over civil and commercial matters, Secretary? Indeed, the negotiations involve sovereign states. Our country is one party in the negotiation. We're not ruling out any specific kinds of dispute for mediation. The broader the scope, the better we are in line with our country's goal in setting up the body. But I'm not in a position to comment on the specifics of the negotiations. After all, the negotiations are still going on. We all want to see this work out promptly so that we can get a clearer picture of what will happen.
Ms. Yun Xiong. Thank you, Chairman. I welcome the setting up of the IOMED headquarters in Hong Kong, especially at the old Wan Chai police station. I think this is the ideal location. According to the paper, the IOMED will become the first and only international intergovernmental organization specializing in mediation for resolution of international disputes on par with the ICJ and the Permanent Court of Arbitration. Well, I think this highlights Hong Kong's status in the global community. According to the timeline, it will start operation by the end of 2025. So my question is on international mediation talents. Now, I need to declare that I'm a mediator for general and family matters. I think mediators are interested in training in relation to resolution of international disputes. The timeline specifies operation within 2025. It means we only have 1 year or so to receive training. Do we have sufficient trainers who will be engaged as trainers? And for general and family-related mediators, will they be able to take up these cases? I think practitioners would like to know more about their existing role and how they can contribute to resolving international disputes. Secretary. Now, once the negotiation is completed, if the headquarters are to be set up in Hong Kong, then the IOMED Convention will definitely specify the mediators to be appointed. I'm afraid at this stage the negotiation is still underway. I am unable to divulge any details. The IOMED headquarters aside, we still need to groom more legal talents who are capable of taking up this work of international dispute resolution. That is why within this year we're going to set up the International Legal Talent Training Academy. We're going to help talents in the mainland to be equipped with the skills and knowledge. And meanwhile, it's capacity building for locals as well. So we are actively taking forward the establishment of the the International Legal Talents Training Academy. So meanwhile, we will continue to promote mediation services. This year, we're going to roll out enhancement measures to raise the profile professional standards of the mediation sector as a whole, to enhance the public's confidence in them so that we can groom the necessary talents to cope with future demands. Now, Chairman, I see from the paper that we are to develop Hong Kong into the capital of dispute resolution, and the government, likewise, will take the lead in this regard. That means the government will be using more mediation services in resolving disputes as well. With the establishment of the IOMED headquarters in Hong Kong, I hope that we will continue to develop mediation in Hong Kong. This is a comment. No response needed. Mr. Dennis Leung. Chairman, I support the establishment of the IOMED headquarters in Hong Kong. This will further help the legal profession join the global stage. As we just had the legal year opening, we have a robust legal system that is rational, legitimate. This is what we must showcase to the world. At the same time, we need to tell good stories of Hong Kong in particular, to tell others about the merits of the legal system in Hong Kong. We have a very tight timeline. We are supposed to deliver by the end of next year. So this is my concern. From the paper, I understand where it is. But apart from the location of the site, I don't see any details Perhaps the details will be disclosed when the paper is submitted to the Public Works Subcommittee. How about arranging a site visit for us to know more? Whilst we started this discussion, we haven't legislated on Article 23 of the Basic Law. So, can you tell us more about how you enhance other states' confidence in Hong Kong so as not to affect our establishment of the IOMED headquarters in Hong Kong? Now, Ms. Eunice Yung has referred to the training academy. Before this is established, is there any way to enhance the professionalism and the qualifications of mediators in Hong Kong? The third point is this. As far as public works are concerned, we've had cases of relocating sewage treatment plants into rock havens and also other similar projects. I've asked the government to set up exhibition galleries for the purpose of public education. Now, will something similar be set up to help students learn more about the operation of the International Organization for Mediation, so that we have a place for not only locals but visitors as we tell good stories of Hong Kong? 3 points, Secretary. Right, first question on arranging visits. Now, to be frank, this is a works site at the moment. Well, it seems that there is still an office there. Right, the place has been vacated. But like I said just now, well, there are different factors at play. I'm not sure whether a visit can be arranged. But we've strived to ask for more information so that if the bid is successful, we will let members know as many details as possible. About legislating on Article 23 of the Basic Law, I'd say that this is a completely different matter. Now, the one is about fulfilling our constitutional responsibility. The other is about enhancing our status as an international legal and dispute resolution services center. It is not for Hong Kong to decide whether the headquarters of the IOMED can be set up in Hong Kong. We must involve the state, and we must have the support of other interested states under the joint statement. After negotiation, if we're successful, that means Hong Kong has the recognition and support of other participating states, and then in the future, Hong Kong will become the focus of dispute resolution services. Now, as far as talents are concerned, as pointed out by the law of society in Hong Kong, we have a lot of mediators in Hong Kong, but we need to enhance people's confidence in them. That is why we need to make further enhancements to the accreditation system. At this moment, we are unsure about the qualifications of international mediators, but we will do our level best so that if we build our capacity, we will be able to take part in the process. Now, about exhibition galleries for the public. This is a place of historical significance, so of course we'd like to involve the public as well. Now, we will relay this request to the preparatory office without affecting the operation. They do keep an open mind. But at this stage, again, no concrete details can be divulged. We have brought to the preparatory office's attention this request. We have their support. Ms. Doreen Kong. Thank you, Chairman. About this site, I'm looking at the plan. It seems that there are rooms to be built. I want to know whether online facilities will be provided. This is supposed to be an international headquarters. I want to make sure that the facilities will be kept up to date. Next, about the cost of maintenance. Which party will be responsible in the future? And finally, on site selection, the site should be open to the public when works have been completed. Well, I think it's only right because this is a Grade 2 historic building. So it's a matter of collective memory for Hong Kong people. Perhaps visits or guided tours can be arranged in the future without compromising mediation services. Perhaps guided tours can be arranged. Thank you. Well, that's an old police station after all. It may not be that rosy when it comes to nostalgic memories. For online facilities, I think that definitely digital services or technology will be involved. At this moment, I cannot divulge details, but of course, technology will be deployed. I don't have first-hand information. We have yet to iron out details, but I firmly believe that information technology will be deployed to facilitate the operation of this international organization. On cost matters, like I said, we've submitted an expression of interest for the headquarters to be established in Hong Kong, and through our country, we can make a formal bid. The bid involves certain undertakings, including financial arrangements. First of all, no rent will be charged. Second, for expenditure on repair and maintenance, the government will be responsible. And this is the undertaking we've given in submitting the bid. And I think the states will negotiate on the other cost apportionment matters, as well as rent and major cost and maintenance expenses. We've given this undertaking in a bid to strive for the state's support for the establishment of the headquarters in Hong Kong. Now, about visits, guided tours, we understand the views. I've heard requests. Again, this is a collective memory. It is highly educational for Hong Kong people. This can help enhance the public's understanding of Hong Kong and the history. So we will actively relay this request to the preparatory office, and I am quite confident that without affecting their normal operation or compromising security measures, certain parts of the headquarters can be opened up for visits by the public, for people to learn more about mediation. So I will be very proactive in bringing this view to the other party. This is only reasonable.
However,
Any follow-up? No. Next, Mr. Ambrose Lam. Thank you. Other members have asked questions I have in mind. This is a key project. I want to confirm one point so that we have no slip-up in the future. Now, this is for the old Wan Chai police station. The Tai Kwun, also a former police station, it took 10 years for the renovation. The electrical complex took 2 years for the expansion. We have roughly 20 months left. How can we make sure we can deliver the renovated place on time? We don't have the funding yet. How much will the project cost? The secretary told us the price tag would come later. So I will save that question for now. I just want to get the government to make sure we can deliver on time. So will anything go wrong with the project? We know we have to deliver on this project. To make sure everything goes right, we have work going on internally. We have a task force. I personally chair the task force. I get the departments to keep an eye on the timetable as they take forward the work. We closely monitor the process to make sure each stage of the work progresses as scheduled. If anything comes up, we find a way to fix it. The ASD, along with other departments, are working together. This involves coordination across departments. So we have this task force to coordinate the work across departments. My colleagues are also members on the task force, and I personally chair this task force. I keep an eye on the work. I am confident that everything will go smoothly. We cannot afford any slip up for this project. If we get the headquarters here, we're making a pledge to other parties. We need to honor this promise, and we will do all we can to deliver. Now, we do have a precedent, and that's the Court of Final Appeal building. We achieved good results with that project. Next, Dr. Junius Ho, Secretary. Our country has given us a key mission, and that is the IOM, having the headquarters in Hong Kong. This is profound. I'm sure we have the headquarters in the back. But I have a question. Why pick a Grade 2 historic building for this place? I asked Horace. Horace told me it's part of the tender conditions. I asked who said this. I was told our country laid down the requirement. We have very few such historic buildings in Hong Kong. But heritage is Europe's forte. You can pick any random building with 200 years of history. Buildings that look better with a longer history, and they offer more spacious structures. But for this project, we have it in the back. My intuition is that things will work out for us. My point is, we don't necessarily need a Grade 2 historic building. We just need a spacious place that's conveniently located. It has to be accessible. We don't need a historic building for mediation. So we are tying our own hands by having this in the tender conditions. So we need a decision. We will get a decision in mid-2024, but let's look at a longer time horizon. This is not just for regional mediation. This is for international mediation. This facility is supposed to be on a par with The Hague and the International Court of Justice. So if we can have the headquarters here, the old Wan Chai police station will not have enough space for such a key institution. Let's look at the northern metropolis. We need a more appropriate, a more majestic building for the IOM headquarters. We are stingy. Look at Singapore, the arbitration center. It's a fancy structure. Why can we not build something from scratch that is time permitting? We should have found a place and built a structure commensurate with a metropolis. I think this place should only serve as a temporary site. We use the old Wan Chai police station for the time being. And then in tandem, we find a spot in the northern metropolis. That should be our next step for the IOM. In the Belt and Road Initiative, there are more than 150 countries. Under the UN, there are more than 200 countries. All those countries may come to Hong Kong for mediation. Wan Chai will not be able to cope. We will be overwhelmed. You can have a boutique shop in Wan Chai, and that's fine. But if we are delivering what's under a convention, then we need bolder steps. One more comment. The UN has one headquarters in New York and 2 regional headquarters in different parts of Europe. No UN regional headquarters in Asia. Hong Kong should push for having a UN regional headquarters in Hong Kong. That would be a step of foresight. And then we also have the IOM. At that point, The Hague will cease to be relevant. Forget about The Hague. I support this scheme, but we need foresight, long-term thinking. That's a comment from Dr. Ho. Any response from Mr. Lam? Dr. Ho has some questions about the site, so let me take this opportunity to clarify. We pick a Grade 2 historic building for a reason. We put in our EOI with the preparatory office. We found out about the preparatory office's requirement. The first requirement is speed. We need to deliver a place by the end of 2025, so we cannot build from scratch. Second, the office wants a defining building, so places of historical significance. As Dr. Ho rightly pointed out, we need somewhere spacious, accessible, convenient. We have looked everywhere in Hong Kong. The old Wan Chai police station fits the bill. We've talked to the office, and then we came to this decision. Now, the area of the police station. The IOM is looking for a place for the headquarters. The total construction area will be 5,080 square meters. We talked to the preparatory office about whether the area meets the office's anticipated need. I note Dr. Ho's concerns. We have given those points thought. We talked to the office. We hope we can get the headquarters here. We didn't know whether there would be other rivals putting in EOIs. So when we prepared our tender document, we tried to phrase the tender terms that were in line with the officer's expectations. I hope my response answers Dr. Ho's questions. Chairman, can I get one comment in so that I won't speak for the second round? I note the Secretary's point. We need to show people something new. 5,000 square meters is nothing. In Shenzhen, Any exhibition center can be 4,000 square meters. To accommodate something international, we need to offer a spacious site. For the second round, 2 members are waiting to speak for the second round, Professor Priscilla Leung and Ms. Carmen Khan. 2 minutes for each member, questions and answers inclusive. If needed, I will extend the meeting until we are done with the questions and answers. Professor Priscilla Leung. Now for the IOM, we need to think beyond just Hong Kong for the IOM headquarters. There is mediation at the personal level and also at the international level. 1842, Britain mediated in a dispute between Brazil and Portugal. 1948, UN Security Council sent a mediator to try to mediate in the Palestinian crisis. So the primary focus of the future IOM headquarters should be international disputes. So we shouldn't be thinking whether anyone can go to this IOM. The focus should be on disputes where our country can take the lead in mediation. So this may involve the Asia Pacific. I have enormous respect for Dr. Junius Ho. The World Trade Organization has an appeal mechanism. That office does not require a huge site. But the appeal mechanism has representatives from people, world-renowned people of huge stature. So it's the people that matter. Now, one last comment. I don't need a response. Paragraph 16 of the paper. After the signing of the IOM Convention and the Host Agreement, we will follow the established practice. This means there will be local legislation. Again, that will be a major step that recognizes Hong Kong's role. LegCo will be able to take part in the work. We will get to discuss the plan in greater detail. I support the scheme. Ms. Carmen Khan. My first question is about clarification. We're turning the old Wan Chai police station into the IOM headquarters. Does this involve rezoning of the outline zoning plan? We used to see disputes, judicial review for rezoning in the OZP. So does this involve rezoning? And second, it's about the manpower at the DOJ. The Secretary told us about the task force. We now have just a preparatory office under the IOM. In the future, we will need to support our country's work in mediation. So I want to find out more about the DOJ's manpower. If possible, can the Secretary for Justice tell us? Have there been preparations in terms of manpower for the future IOM headquarters? Thank you. We talked to the planning department about this. According to the Wan Chai OZP, the site of the old Wan Chai police station sits on institutional use land. Now we are proposing to renovate the police station. We're putting in a new lift. That does not count of major works. This will involve no change to the building height, so there will be no change to the planning use, no rezoning. Ms. Khan raised a great question in her second question. Indeed, we will need manpower. So next month, we will come to LegCo for more manpower resources, partly to support the work of the IOM. We have sent someone from the DOJ to the preparatory office to support the work. At that office, there are people from the Central People's Government. The DOJ has also sent a few staff members to the office, but the work will get busier. That means we will need more people. So at the appropriate time, we will submit a proposal to the relevant subcommittee of LegCo.
想請問委員，
Members, do we support the administration in submitting this proposal to the Public Works Committee for consideration? Yes. So be it. This item will be submitted to the PWSC. That wraps up the discussion of this item. AOB, anything? Not from me. So meeting's adjourned. Thank you.